I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Sin will master you, or you must master sin. There's no neutral ground. There's no middle ground. There's no sitting out this war on the inside, this conflict. Either you master sin or sin will master you. And the only way that you can master sin is for you to be mastered by the grace of God.
The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel. I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost to feel. I'm just lost to feel. I need time to heal. I can't steer the wheel, cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels. I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
None of us can overrule sin in our own lives. We must be mastered by the grace of God in order to master sin. We need a force that's stronger than sin. Sin is like this lion ready to devour. We need one who's stronger than this lion, and we are so weak in and of ourselves and in our own flesh. We need the grace of God. We need the mercy of God to overcome temptation. And to overcome sin, we can't do it on our own. Listen, when sin moves in, happiness moves out. Don't ever think that sin will make you happy. But when repentance moves in, sin moves out, and happiness moves back in. And sin never travels solo. Sin always is accompanied by other sin. Don't ever think that sin will make you happy. That is the devil's lie. Sin will depress you. Sin will defeat you. Sin will discourage you. Sin will devastate you. Sin offers you nothing but death and destruction. You must go God's way by His grace. If you just continue to harden your own heart, if you just continue to bow your back, if you continue to stiffen your neck, if you continue to just have a death grip on your own way and you will not humble yourself, if you continue with deliberate, defiant disobedience to me, sin is crouching at the door. It is pictured as a lion, ready to spring forth and devour its prey. And so sin is crouching at the door, and it will eat your lunch. None of us can overrule sin in our own lives. We must be mastered by the grace of God in order to master sin. We need a force that's stronger than sin. Sin is like this lion ready to devour. We need one who's stronger than this lion, and we are so weak in and of ourselves and in our own flesh. We need the grace of God. We need the mercy of God to overcome temptation and to overcome sin. We can't do it on our own. You must go God's way by His grace. Don't ever think that sin will make you happy. That is the devil's lie.
Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back. I have no idea what happened there. If this were a professional channel, things like that would not happen. But it did. Let me know if you can hear me right now. I don't know if we're just having even more technical difficulties, but it's been a year. It's been a long time that I've taken off, and you just forget how everything works. And so I forget how to even add my screen to the stage. Let's see. Rianne Hill is saying, I just pulled up to Walmart to begin my errands. I hate going into Walmart, so you open YouTube to stall. There we go. Yeah, I can hear you. That's great. That's cool. I'm getting old, and when I pull in at home or anywhere, it takes me 5 minutes to muster the energy just to walk inside or do anything. So really, we got an open mic today. Ask Me Anything. And so that means we can just do whatever we want, hang out and chat. I'll post the link if anyone wants to come on and chat. I have no idea what's going on in the Christian YouTube community right now. Absolutely zero idea. I haven't followed that stuff a ton. I've talked about it a little bit in that I tend to, I don't know if obsess is the right word, focus. There we go. Focus on one thing and really zero in on it. And for the last year or so, it's really been on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and economics and really where this world is headed. Peter W. Yeah, I saw your first comment, and I'm looking forward to going back actually right now, and we will look at those. But yeah, David Martin Lloyd Jones. Oh my goodness. If you live in America, who's America's pastor. It's not Joel Osteen. It's John MacArthur, right? So you got to know John MacArthur, and then number two, you got to know Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones, he was a pastor, or he lived through so many things. He's born, I think, 1899. So what would that be? The 19th century? Holy cow. And then, he lived through World War I, World War II, the Great Depression. Of course, he was more in England. But in so much history with him, he was the really going up in the world. He was going places, and he was going to be practicing medicine, the doctor for the royal family or something. But then God called him to be a doctor of souls. And he, never looked back. Pastored during, I guess I would call it another downgrade controversy. And, how so, Mark? Well, Spurgeon fought the great downgrade controversy of his lifetime. And I do want to talk about that applied to something else today. But then Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones fought his own downgrade controversy. And what was that? I would argue it was over, what would you call it? Should we have a big tent or a little tent? Is purity in the church more important than just having a big tent and being united with, essentially with unbelievers? At that point, there was a who was the John Stott, I believe, and him really went at it. And John Stott was a very prominent evangelical who rebuked Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones, like, to his face over this matter of, hey, we need to be unified with other churches who are apostatizing, rejecting the authority of Scripture. They're going down the the broad path, essentially, but hey, we need to be united with them anyways. Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones, it cost him a lot of popularity, just like Charles Spurgeon lost a lot of popularity in his later years. And what the Baptist Union, he departed from that. The Baptist Union censured him or rebuked him, kind of thing. And he the last years of Charles Spurgeon's life were pretty sad years, full of heartbreak for him. But history vindicated Charles Spurgeon, as you had just Christian bulwark denominations, apostatize and leave the faith, and they're dead today. They're absolutely dead. The same thing, I would argue, happened with Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones and the churches who decided, no, we want to be united. We want the big tent with apostatizing churches. We don't want to leave. We don't want purity, that kind of thing. We're not going to prioritize that. I think history went on to vindicate and show that, Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones was the man. He was right there, and John Stott and others were historically wrong. And it's a big thing that happens over and over and over again. We see that controversy today, and Peter, how I go down rabbit trails, and but eventually we'll get back to those comments and everything. But we see the same exact thing today with Donald Trump. We see the kind of like post-millennial Joel Webbins, what would you call, who's the other guy's name? Wolf. Stephen Wolf, or the other William Wolf or something. I think William Wolf is like very, very pro-Trump and very, hey, we need a very big tent. And so we can't criticize the audio is hollow. Let me check my audio. It's been a while. Let's see. The audio is probably, it needs to go back to Scarlett. Thanks for thanks for catching that for me. Is my audio better now, everyone? It should be. Let me check that one more time. Scarlett, yes. There we go. I think it should be better now. Should be crisp. Should be on my other thing. I need that audio to match the beard. Yeah, there we go. Good, that's better. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long vacation, but I'm back. And so again, we see the whole thing all over again. We see this, hey, Christians, we need a very big tent with this Donald Trump stuff. And the beard's spectacular. It's better. You know what really happened is I shaved and I just could not show my face for a year or so until this thing grew back on my face. So now we're good. Now we're back because, it's the beard's back and I don't feel, like my face is naked, basically, because it was hideous. Oh my goodness, no. Biggest mistake in my life. You grow a beard I have one grown for 3 years, and then I shaved, and it's instant regret, and it's, hey, why did I do that, kind of thing. But again, we see that all over again, and I like to, what would you call it? Just the very, hey, we need to be united with the GOP. We need this really big tent. When you combine that with the Christian nationalism stuff, and hey, that we need to take back this country and we need a big tent to do it. And if we don't have that big tent, then we just can't do it. So be built on, a big part of it is just pragmatism and everything as well. So let's go back. We'll read Peter's comments again on, I think Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones. He says, hey, Mark, I want to let you know that I'm giving my testimony to the church in a couple weeks. And you are going to be part of it. Around 4 years ago, I came on and we had a chat. And so maybe it was an Ask Me Anything. We used to do this more often. I'm guessing it's probably that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We used to have very long live streams back in the day. It goes on to say, the next morning at church, less than 12 hours after our talk, I was sitting in the back. Oh, I skipped one. We got to go back. It was around 9 p.m. on a Saturday night. You mentioned to me that you like Martin Lloyd Jones. Yeah, Dr. Pastor David Martin Lloyd Jones, and asked me if I had ever read him. I told you I'd never heard of him, but that I would check it out. Yeah. And, Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones should be people's, in my opinion, just my opinion, but I'm right about this, go to for a few different things. He had works on revivalism. I'm in a reform group on Facebook, and someone brought up hey, we're having a revival, tomorrow at 12:30. You should come. Well, if you're reformed, you can't just plan a revival like that. That's not how it works. And Dr. Dave Martin Lloyd Jones wrote a lot about revival. And so, if anyone ever asked, hey, what do you think about revivals and everything? Well, go read Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones. He had a book, Preachers and Preaching, which is a classic. Those going in ministry should probably read. And then what's the other one? His work on altar calls. If you're reformed, you've probably heard Paul Washer and David Platt and a lot of reform folks. When we were having our movement back in the day when it was really catching fire, gaining ground, there was a lot of criticism in the altar calls. And I remember that. I grew up on it. Like the 2 or 3 hour altar calls, I can remember them because we had them all the time within the Assemblies of God. It's dead. It doesn't happen anymore in the Assemblies of God, by the way. Let's see. But yeah, so he wrote a lot on altar calls as well. That's another tangent. And then Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones is also very exegetical, just like John MacArthur. And he writes, when you listen to him, almost like a lawyer as well. So, which I really appreciate. He'll identify, hey, here's different arguments for what this text means. And then he'll go through those. Hey, here's this argument. It's wrong. This is why, and teach you how to think through that too, kind of. Let's see. Is that the right one? Yep. The next morning at church, less than 12 hours after our talk, I was sitting in the back pew. An older woman who was sitting in the front got up and started walking toward me, holding a book. Let me guess. I'm guessing it's from Dr. David Martin Lloyd Jones or Bible, one of the two, right? In her hand, she said something like she thought the Lord wanted me to have it. When I looked down at the book, it was Faith on Trial, Psalm 73 by Martin Lloyd Jones. That was a wonderful sign from the Lord to me. I thank you so much, and I hope it is encouraging to you. Praise the Lord. Oh yeah, praise the Lord. And hey, God works through that. I believe God's intimately involved in our lives, in everyone's lives. And so there's moments, lots of moments like that happen throughout the years, and God is intimately involved in those ways, carrying out his purpose. Let's see. I have to quit stalling as if I don't have a million errands to run. Looking forward to the replay. Have a great day, y'all. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by. And, I should reach out to Daryl sometime and we should do a reunion show. It'd be fun. That'd be quite fun. And one more time, I don't know if I posted it earlier. I'll post it one more time. If anyone wants to come on and chat, there is a link to come on and chat. So if it posts, more technical difficulties today. Did that go through? Oh no, there we go. I just posted it twice. Okay. Co-belligerent, pragmatic approach, very popular, but very unsound. Yeah. Preachers and Preaching is phenomenal. Yeah. Oh, I love that book. Yeah. Should go back and read it. You should go back through some comments because I missed a lot. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can throw in the comment section below. If you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to. You'd think that I'd have something like this all hashed out and planned out. I really don't. Other than a few things, like 30 seconds before we went live, I jotted down a few things to chat about. So I don't really want to come on now, but maybe in the future? Are you going to be on fairly regularly now? I don't know. It'd be fun to start another show and make it a weekly thing. Maybe I might try something like that. Maybe I'll put out another video and just say, "Hey, looking for co-host," or reach out to Daryl, or probably do both. Because I haven't talked to Daryl. It's been a long time, and I should maybe I'll text him today, see if he wants to do a reunion show. That'd be fun. Or maybe he'll pop on today just unexpectedly. That'd be great. Let's see if we have a few more comments I can look at, because I am sure I missed several. So what has everyone been up to? The election's over, all the drama. Well, the drama's not over now. With Joe Biden, everything was boring. You had the media saying Joe Biden's great. He's as sharp as a tack. There's nothing wrong with him. We just saw him yesterday. He's running circles around us. And it turned out they were lying, which, shocker, the mainstream media lying, crazy. I know. But it goes to show my generation, and if you're younger than me, you should have zero trust for the mainstream media, like zero trust. And my rule of thumb is, if a media source comes down on the side for abortion, then you just don't trust anything they say. If they can't get that right, they can't get anything right. It's so most people nowadays get their news, I guess, from like Facebook, though the younger people, they don't even use Facebook anymore, if we were to be honest, right? But most people get their news from social media. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's probably better than getting your news from CBS and ABC and CNN and Fox and all that. But beyond that, let's talk about Trump for a moment. And let me know in the comments, is the Trump presidency, is it an upgrade or is it a downgrade from past Republican presidents that we've had? Ronald Reagan, I don't think it gets much better than Ronald Reagan, right? For at least my lifetime. George W. Bush, we have Mitt Romney in the conversation. Who else has ran for John McCain? Is Donald Trump an upgrade or a downgrade from in the GOP party since he took office there? That'd be very interesting. And I wonder, if you asked Republicans that, what they would say. Something to think about, at least. And then, hey, why is he an upgrade? Why is he a downgrade? Generally I would say, hey, a downgrade, and I think it'd be a no-brainer. You just look at the morality, you look at God's qualifications for an elder that I think are timeless. An elder should always fear God. An elder should always not be corrupt. And you see someone who doesn't fear God, is very corrupt. If you saw, and let me put the asterisk there, yeah, he's not a Democrat, and they're far more wicked and evil, and their platform is diametrically opposed to everything that Scripture stands for, I believe. And yet we can still criticize Republicans regardless, I think. So what was I saying? So back to crypto, because I've been following crypto and Bitcoin and stuff a lot. Just days before Trump was inaugurated, yep, he came out with his own coin, and it gained, what was it, a value, and there's different ways of measuring it or something. Billions. How many billions of dollars was it? Like 70 billion or some crazy amount of money just in a short amount of time. And then it crashed, and people lost a ton of money or made money. I made some money, but it was yesterday. I think it's yesterday he came out and said, hey, you buy my coin. What was it? The top 20 people or so that own the Trump coin, I'll go have dinner with. And so that coin just shot up in value. It went up like 50%, just like that. But that's crypto for you. And it can go down 50% just like that too. Um, but if you watch behind the scenes, one of the uh parts of the Constitution is that, I believe it's the Constitution, not a different document, but the president should not use his office to enrich himself. And if you watch behind the scenes, hey, Trump's doing it. And Mark, you're just a Democrat saying that. No, I'm not. He's doing it. Do I hate it? I mean, you had Democrats really go after him tooth and nail for years and years and years, and do lawfare on him, and I'm sure it cost him tens of millions, probably $100 million to defend himself with lawyers in court and everything. Well, Trump has made, arguably, you could argue, billions of dollars and enriching himself through the presidency, through his meme coin, through different ventures. He's starting a crypto, what would you call it, a crypto company, or his family is. Um, and if you know what's going on, you should probably just go out and buy some crypto today, by the way. Let's look at this. Okay, we got that already. Read that. Yeah, reunion would be great. Yeah, it'd be fun to do. I should go do it sometime. I've thought about, there's a video somewhere I posted a while ago. Hey, looking for a co-host for a show. And I had maybe 3 or 4 people reach out to me. Hey, let's do it. I might post that again. Might look for a co-host, do a show, something new, something fresh. Could reach out to Daryl too. It'd be fun to do something weekly. I could. I just have to make sure to hash out a day and time and all that, and make sure it's a good fit and everything. It'd be fun to do. Yeah, and so a lot of times we'll start a live stream, have no idea what we're going to talk about. I'll say that and say, hey, this could last, who knows, 10 minutes, 30 minutes or something. But it'll go on for hours. But I don't have, honestly, a lot to talk about today. What's going on in Montana? In the state of Montana, hey, we're dysfunctional. COVID hit in 2020, right? And Republicans won a super majority in everything. We won the governorship, the House, the Senate, and it was pretty great after 16 years of having a Democrat governor who told us, hey, if there's like 3 or 4 people who've been tested positive for COVID in your county, you got to wear a mask in every public place, And I think Montanans heard that and lost their mind and said, hey, we're done with you. And it's been great. And we've had a pretty big red wave since. Maybe Ruslan can be an assistant host. Oh my goodness. What has Ruslan been up to? I wonder how many subscribers he's up to. He probably has, 300,000 or something. His channel is exploding, absolutely exploding. And it'd be fun. It'd be fun. For a while, I would wake up, I'd make my Ruslan video, because he'd be talking about something he has no clue about, like the crowds follow Jesus Christ because they just loved him. And so everyone is just really drawn towards Jesus Christ naturally, or something like that. He'd be saying something like that and be like, oh, we got to go respond to it. Or he'd be saying, hey, I used to be a Calvinist and I left it. And it was, yeah. We'd have to go dissect that. So, or he'd be doing a video. He does a lot of, would you call it, collaborations or interviews or whatever. He'll bring on Leighton Flowers or whoever it is and chat with them, and it'd be always fun. Always very easy content to respond to him. And it actually gets some views because Ruslan's pretty well known. But yeah, what has Ruslan been up to? What has Seiko Woods been up to? I could only imagine what Seiko's been up to. That'd be very funny to just go and see. I have no idea what he's been up to. Well, I could tell you without even looking, really. We had the Steve Lawson debacle that went on. And that was like 6 or 7 months ago. That wasn't that long ago. And I've been on maybe 2 or 3 times since that's happened. This is probably my 3rd time, probably. And if I really wanted to get some views, I should have been on during that time and done content and done all that. Um, I had someone reach out to me, "Hey, Mark, could I download some of your videos?" Saying, "Hey, I'd be willing to pay you." I said, "No, we believe in the Dorian principle here. We don't sell ministry. We don't sell videos or content, that kind of thing." Um, but he was concerned, "Hey, those videos are going away because, you got to start the book burning and the, just delete people from history after something like that happens. If you're Justin Peters, and you say no one should use his book, let the book burning begin and just forget him." Um, you know, I very strongly disagree with that take. Insanely strongly disagree with that take. But yeah, the videos are staying up. They'll be up there probably forever, as long as YouTube exists, because I'm not taking them down. Now, if it were a different situation, could you argue to take him down if something happened and then he was unrepentant and then this or that happened? Well, maybe, but the thing's true. What he's saying is true, and you can't, you're can't really argue with it. I'd have to hear a really good argument why those things should be taken down, and I haven't heard any, especially from Justin Peters on that. So, um, what else is going on though? Yeah, it's weird because that happened. And how much time have I spent talking about the Steve Lawson thing that happened, um, 6, 7 months ago, and then there's been a few updates on it since. Not even 5 minutes. And right or wrong, the thing happened with John MacArthur a few years ago. Didn't really spend much time at all talking about it. Um, Same thing happened with not the same thing, but something else. Stephen Lawson. Haven't really talked about it. And is there a double standard? Because for a long time, hey, we would just go find, person after person and kind of correct and rebuke and compare what they were doing with scripture, that kind of thing. Hey, you could there could be criticism there too. So let's see. But yeah, in the media, everyone's talking about the tariffs, and I'm about as free trade as it gets. Um, and why is China kicking our butts? Well, there's a phrase that comes out. People are divided. First off, let's talk about China and the United States, right? Because not everyone, but people are generally divided and saying, there's two camps. China's kicking our butt, or no, they pose no threat. We are the hegemonic power, and we will be for a long time. But if you see what's going on in the background, I mean, and Trump just talks about it openly, China's gutted our manufacturing. Who's winning the AI race that will basically determine the next superpower of the future? I think China is. And Americans used to think that it was us hands down. They used to think America has a 6 month to maybe 2 year advantage. Why over China? Because of our um, semiconductors. Our chips are the most advanced, the most powerful, and that's what really fuels AI. Well, after DeepSeek came out and some other things, they think, well, maybe we're months ahead of China, and China's looking at producing their own chips here right now. They're in the process of doing it. Who knows how fast they'll catch up? I wouldn't bet against China for sure. Um, they have a few problems to overcome. I think the one child policy really hurt China. If they had murdered hundreds of millions of their offspring, it'd be undisputed, it'd be no contest. They would just kick everyone's butts. But they did that, and that really created a demographic nightmare for them, where their brightest years are the next 20 years or so, and then they're really going to hurt because of their aging population, for sure. And then there's pollution, all that manufacturing, and they've got tons of water that's polluted, um, really bad. I mean, just insanely bad. And there's a percentage of Chinese water that that's good and a percentage that's bad, and it's mostly bad, it sounds like to me. Um, and so it used to be that you wake up, every day was like the last, and nothing major is going to change. Well, now you wake up and everything could change just like that. There could be a cyber attack that happens today, next week, tomorrow, that just changes everything. To be honest, we could wake up tomorrow and China could be invading Taiwan, and that would just change everything. That would be a COVID like event, just like that. Arguably bigger than COVID, with all the repercussions that would happen out of that, actually. Um, but who is winning the AI kind of war, the Cold War that's going on? I think it's China. And, we talked about the manufacturing, they're really kicking our butt there. Um, and the next phase of AI is robotics. It's putting physical things on the AI, and they've got a major advantage against us there. Uh, really big advantage. And so I think the next leg of the race, they will. It was in the news actually. And if I were smart, I'd have some news articles to just pop up and talk about, but I don't. But in a Chinese town, was it Beijing? They had a half marathon. They're all robots. And I think it's hard to trust how real everything was and everything, but I don't think they were super impressive. But you've got robots who are going to soon be able to do everything better than humans can do, to be honest. The old quote is, there's the car replaced the horse, and now we're the horse being replaced by AI, by robotics. And that's very true. Um, they'll be able to do almost everything better than we can do it. And they'll just get better and better and better over time. And this will be very interesting how that happens. And the first people that they'll replace are analysts. So if you're an analyst for what different thing, for like cancer imaging or different things like that, or analysts for stocks and things like that, they'll be replaced very quickly by AI. And they've got restaurants, I've talked about it before on the channel, that are completely automated start to finish, no humans involved. I've heard Tesla has plants where they assemble the cars start to finish, and there's no, and wonder how start to finish it is, though. Because they don't create the parts there, they probably just assemble it there, but there's no humans involved. It's all just robots and stuff. Tesla, I guess, tried to, in Europe, create a battery, an electric battery, I guess it'd be, from start to finish, no humans involved. And they invested billions in doing it, I guess, at least $1 billion. And it was a complete flop, a complete waste. And why was it? They realized they don't have the expertise and the know-how on how to make a battery. Why? Asia, China makes all the batteries now, and they have a lot of the expertise. If you've been following the news, rare earth minerals have been taking a lot of the spotlight. Well, why are they talking about rare earth minerals so much? Well, China, what's the word? They basically produce and refine 90% of the world's rare earth minerals. They have all the expertise. They've got all the infrastructure. They got all the know-how for doing that. Well, that is going to be very central for AI, for the chips, for the future, and they're winning that race. The rare earth minerals are the new oil, and that's why you hear Trump saying, "Hey, we're going to annex Greenland or whatever." Well, why? Because they have rare earth minerals. That's why we hear about Ukraine making a deal with them. Well, why? There's tons of rare earth minerals over there, and America really needs them. And we probably want them overseas and not to produce it over here. Why? I think California has a lot of rare earth minerals. Well, good luck getting anything in California. If you want to extract rare earth minerals in California, we'll all be dead by the time that they take anything out of the ground over there. Nothing will get done because there's too many rules and regulations, and that is part of what will, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? What has already decimated this country is all the rules and regulations. America moves so slow. In China, there's a term in China, it's called China fast. They do things efficiently and fast. And in the time it takes America to build one nuclear reactor, I heard a stat, what was it? China will have built like 12 or so by then. And so, if you had to bet on a nation for the next century or so, hey, bet on what, India and China, really China. And I would personally, I vote probably against America, or, my money wouldn't be on America for sure there. Um, but it's very interesting what's going on with the trade war. I mean, it's a Cold War. It is, you have a rising power, which is China, and then the falling power, which would be America, and they are battling over dominance and power and different things. And the American dollar, uh, it's being devalued very quickly. If you see what's going on, and we might just end on this. We'll do, I guess, a shorter Ask Me Anything today. But yeah, if you have any questions or any thoughts, put it in the comment section. So it is an Ask Me Anything, and no one's really asked anything. You're just listening to me talk this whole time, which I'm okay with, because I could be good at talking about certain things. What was I saying now? But you have the dollar. Hey, it's dying. People are beginning, I think, to wake up and realize that the dollar's on its last leg. You had Trump announced the tariffs against China. And after a while, treasuries started dumping, which increases the interest rate for 10-year treasuries. Well, what does that mean? When you go to buy a house, you buy a house, and it's basically the interest rate that you get is that 10-year treasury rate, whatever that means, right? And right now, I think it's like 4.5%. Banks take that 4.5% and they add their cut. So maybe they'll add 1% or 1.5% or something. And that's your mortgage rate. And so right now, mortgage rates are 6% or so, if I had to guess. And when nations start dumping their treasuries on us, it's causing mortgage rates to go up. And so the Fed America has to do different things to hopefully bring those rates down. Why? Because no one can afford a house when you have an interest rate that's 6%. When I was looking for houses 10 years ago, you could buy a house in Montana for under $100,000. I had a friend who bought one probably 11 years ago for 60 some $1,000, less than 70,000. And if you want to sell that house today, it'd probably be a $250,000 house. Well, why is it went up so much? Talked about a lot. The dollar's really lost its value, and we're not in hyperinflation territory yet. But with Kamala Harris and what she was running on everyone. Hey, let's give first-time home buyers a $25,000 credit. Well, hey, welcome to hyperinflation. And that's, if Trump doesn't, again, hey, I'm not a Trump fan. I think it's a downgrade in the Republican Party. But if Republicans don't succeed economically, and you let a Democrat in there, and people are saying, who's the front runner Democrat now? It's AOC. Well, she will go on a drunken spending spree, and I think you'll see hyperinflation right around the corner. Well, why? They're the free money party. Hey, no one needs to pay back their student loans. We'll just forgive those. Free money. Hey, again, Kamala was talking about $25,000 credit or whatever to buy your first home. I don't think, would that be a credit? or would that be the government giving you 25,000 bucks? I don't know how that works, but hey, let's bribe everyone with 25,000 bucks. And that's the wisdom of scripture, why leaders should not be corrupt. And when you're saying, hey, we're going to give everyone 25,000 bucks to buy their first home, that's corruption on steroids. It really is. Be very popular, for sure. Who doesn't want 25,000 bucks to buy their first home? But that'd be very inflationary for sure. And it's not like they just want to stop there. They want to spend money everywhere and anywhere that they can. There's talk of a universal basic income. Welcome hyperinflation. You'll get that quicker than you would think. um, and so I think you kind of have to root for Trump, for his economic agenda, because if it fails, and it very well might. Why? Tariffs are about the dumbest thing on earth. That's why. And it's causing widespread panic in the markets. You had 4 red days, that the worst April I heard today since the Great Depression. Well, why is that? It's Trump's tariffs are just terrorizing the markets. But I think they'll rebound. I think that we could have a very, I don't know if you want to say prosperous, a very fake prosperous year or two coming up here. Well, why is that? There's going to be quantitative easing, which is basically, if I understand it right, there'll be the global money supply will increase. And that's basically more debasement of the dollar that will take place. Well, it's kind of like that adrenaline rush, that drug rush, where you get that boost of your drug that you're addicted to, and everything feels great. You get that high, and then you crash and burn, and you get the hangover shortly later. So I think, I'm optimistic here pretty soon. Bitcoin's going to just skyrocket. Why? Because it tends to, when the global money supply increases, it skyrockets, it increases with it. And then once it's tightened, it'll start going back down, correcting, crashing, that kind of thing. And so when I started talking about Bitcoin, it was at like $60,000. Now it's at scratching $95,000 or so. It got a high of $100 and some $1,000. But if you're in America and you follow politics and economics, there's some really big things going on. There's stable coins bills that are coming out. The Genius Act is coming out. There'll be legislation on crypto. The first thing will be stable coins. It's a really big deal, actually. Well, why? It could really save our butts with our bonds or treasuries, whatever those things are. There's probably a difference between them and all that, but it'll really save our butts there. There'll be more adoption of the US dollar for those demands for stable coins. It could bring interest rates and everything down with that adoption. There's Bitcoin bills where Texas and Florida and Oklahoma, Montana rejected their Bitcoin bill. Not surprised there. It's mostly older folks in Montana, and they hate change and new stuff. So it doesn't surprise that they would vote against that. But you do have a lot of states who want their own Bitcoin strategic reserve. You have Trump talking about it. He could use money from tariffs maybe and use it to buy Bitcoin. But that's to say, I think Bitcoin will go up to about $200,000 here this year, pretty soon. And we'll see the dollar be even more devalued, and the dollar has to be debased more and destroyed more and diluted more. It always will. Why? Because they refuse austerity. I'll talk to older folks from time to time. Hey, why not cut Medicaid? Why not, let's get rid of this banner. Why not make some cuts there? We need it. We're over budget. You do the math. We got to cut that stuff. And the response is almost all the time, well, no, I paid into the system. And so since I paid in, I need to get paid out of the system, so they can't cut my Social Security, Medicaid, whatever entitlement that they have. And that's tragic because no one wants to touch the entitlements, and because no one wants to touch the entitlements, the only option for that is debasement, is to print more money and debase the currency. And understand, entitlements are getting cut. They're getting cut through money printing and debasing and destroying the dollar. So that's the way that entitlements are being being cut. But people are not educated. Public education's really gutted intelligence out of America. And so, you can tell people, well, we'll print $5 trillion, and yeah, your entitlements will go up. We won't cut anything. And be like, yes, now my entitlements are going way up. I'll get an extra $100 a month or something. Well, okay, value of the dollar has been destroyed though, but hey, you're getting more money that you can buy your, stuff with. But if you do the math, because I'm a math person, what they ought to do is completely gut Social Security. No one should pay into Social Security. It's not the government's job anyways. And hey, but if you want to make it mandatory, have people put in 5-10%, whatever, into the stock market. And hey, you can't touch that until you're 65, 70 or whatever. Put in the stock market, Bitcoin, whatever. And people would retire. And you have to do it starting at 18 or 16 or whatever. People would retire millionaires because of inflation, but not broke on Social Security, barely able to pay anything. People would thrive a lot more if it was done privately and not through the government, if you do the math for it. I think Social Security and entitlements is one of the dumbest things that America's ever done. One of the absolute dumbest things. And anyone that can do math would be like, amen. That's for sure. The government has absolutely no role in doing that. But that's me just venting and going on a tangent there. But yeah, that's about it. Not a lot to talk about today. We're going to be under an hour. Maybe I'll try for a reunion show or just a new weekly show. We'll see. And we'll go from there. Go for a new co-host. What would you call it? Journey or search or whatever you want to call it. Or really I need to reach out to Daryl and talk to him sometime. But with that, let's just end with a video and we will call it a day. I will go here. Oh, what's this one? We'll do this one.
There'll probably be people taking clips of this and manipulating what I said and making rebuttal videos trying to get views off my name.
Hey, I love Montana Viking. That brother's anointed.
You know what? I'm about to make a lot of people mad, a lot of people upset. I'm trying to express that I love
Montana Viking.
that I love
Montana Viking.
that I love
Montana Viking.
and that's fine because it's just one of those videos that only
Montana Viking.
are going to be able to understand what I'm saying. So I understand, like, this is one of those messages a lot of people just aren't going to be able to receive because only
Montana Viking.
are going to be able to understand what I'm saying.
Hey, I love Montana Viking. That brother's anointed.
And so for me, I'm free. I'm free to say this. I'm trying to express that I love
Montana Viking.
that I love
Montana Viking.
I love
Montana Viking. Sometimes the people that make videos that you think are hating on you are right.
There'll probably be people taking clips of this and manipulating what I said and making rebuttal videos trying to get views off my name.
That brother's anointed.
I love
Montana Viking.
he is the man of God. I love
Montana Viking.
he is the man of God. He is the man of God.
Hey, I love Montana Viking. That brother's anointed. You know, he has talent. He's passionate. He's zealous.
You know what? I'm about to make a lot of people mad, a lot of people upset. And so for me, I'm free. I'm free to say this. He is a man of God. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Montana Viking, you're a trip, bro. I've seen some of your videos before. Montana Vikings make some videos about me. Oh, what's up, Montana Viking? Oh, God. Hey, I love Montana Viking. That brother's anointed.
Manipulating what I said and making rebuttal videos trying to get views off my name.
Sometimes when people are mean, they're right.
And so for me, I'm free. I'm free to say this. He is a man of God. I love you. I love you.